For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky, wondering what lies beyond our planet. And now, we are closer than ever to answering that question with one of the most ambitious goals humanity has ever set: sending people to Mars. Today, we'll dive deep into the modern space race to the Red Planet. From government agencies like NASA and China's space program, to private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, everyone is working toward one ultimate goal: to set foot on Mars. This is the story of how humanity is preparing for its greatest journey. Why Mars, you might ask? Mars is special because among all the planets in our solar system, it's the one that most resembles Earth in certain ways. It's rocky like our planet, has seasons and experiences day and night similar to Earth. Its day is only slightly longer than ours, at 24.6 hours. But what makes Mars truly intriguing is its potential for life. While we've found no definitive evidence of life yet, scientists believe that billions of years ago, Mars had liquid water on its surface. And where there's water, there's a possibility for life. This makes Mars a tantalizing target for exploration, not just for robotic missions, but for human settlement. Moreover, Mars has something that other planets like Venus or Jupiter don't have. Buried beneath Mars's surface, there are vast deposits of frozen water. If we could access this water, we could potentially use it for drinking, growing crops, and even converting it into oxygen for breathable air or fuel for rockets. The idea of terraforming Mars, making its environment more Earth-like, is a concept that many scientists believe could become a reality in the distant future. Imagine entire colonies on Mars with crops growing in domes, using the planet's own resources. Before we talk about future missions, it's important to understand how far we've come. Mars has been a point of fascination for centuries, but it wasn't until the 1960s that humanity took its first real steps toward understanding the Red Planet. NASA's Mariner 4, launched in 1965, was the first spacecraft to fly by Mars and send back the first ever close-up images of another planet. Since then, there have been many successful missions to Mars. NASA's Viking program in the 1970s was the first to land on Mars's surface. But the real breakthroughs have come in the last 2 decades, with rovers like Opportunity, Curiosity, and most recently, Perseverance. These robotic explorers have given us unprecedented insights into Mars's geology, atmosphere, and potential for supporting life. Perseverance, which landed in 2021, is a particularly exciting mission. It's not just looking for signs of ancient life. It's also collecting samples that could one day be returned to Earth by future missions. It's equipped with cutting-edge technology, like the Mars helicopter Ingenuity, which became the first aircraft to fly in the atmosphere of another planet. Each of these missions builds the foundation for human exploration of Mars. Now let's talk about the key players in this new space race. First, we have NASA, which has been leading space exploration for over 60 years. NASA's Artemis program is working to return astronauts to the Moon by 2025, using the Moon as a stepping stone for Mars. NASA's timeline for sending humans to Mars is sometime in the 2030s, but they're taking a cautious and methodical approach. But NASA isn't alone. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, has been very clear about his goal: getting humans to Mars as soon as possible. SpaceX is developing the Starship, a fully reusable spacecraft that could carry up to 100 people on long-duration missions to Mars. Musk's vision is to make Mars a self-sustaining colony where humans could live permanently. He's aiming to send the first crewed mission by the mid-2020s, much sooner than NASA's plans. Then there's Jeff Bezos and his company, Blue Origin. While Blue Origin has been quieter about its plans for Mars, Bezos is investing heavily in space infrastructure that could one day support missions beyond Earth. For now, Blue Origin is more focused on lunar missions, but it's likely that Mars is part of Bezos's long-term strategy. Finally, China has rapidly advanced in the space race. In 2021, China's Tianwen-1 mission successfully landed a rover on Mars, making China only the second country to do so after the US. China has announced ambitious plans to send humans to Mars by the 2030s, putting them in direct competition with NASA and SpaceX. Now, getting to Mars is no easy feat. In fact, it's one of the most difficult challenges humanity has ever faced. For starters, Mars is incredibly far away. On average, it's about 140 million miles from Earth. To put that into perspective, the Moon is just 238,000 miles away, and it took Apollo astronauts about 3 days to get there. A trip to Mars, however, would take 6 to 9 months, depending on the alignment of the planets. Once you're there, the challenges don't stop. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, which makes it difficult to land heavy spacecraft. The planet's surface is also extremely harsh, with freezing temperatures, intense radiation, and frequent dust storms that can last for months. Without proper protection, humans wouldn't survive for long. Astronauts on Mars would need to rely on advanced life support systems, including habitats that provide oxygen, water, and food. But even more challenging is the fact that the gravity on Mars is only about 38% of Earth's, which could have long-term effects on human health. Muscle atrophy and bone loss are major concerns during long-duration space missions, and it's still unclear how extended stays on Mars would affect the human body. However, one of the biggest questions is how we get back. Any crewed mission to Mars would need to carry enough fuel and supplies for the return trip, or find a way to produce fuel on Mars itself. This is where the concept of in situ resource utilization comes in. Basically, using Mars's resources, like its frozen water, to create fuel and breathable oxygen. Companies like SpaceX and NASA are already exploring these technologies, but we're still in the early stages. So who will win the race to Mars? NASA's timeline is conservative, aiming for the 2030s, while SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, is pushing for the mid-2020s. China is also in the race, with plans for a manned mission in the 2030s, and Blue Origin remains a wildcard. Regardless of who gets there first, the journey to Mars will be one of humanity's greatest achievements, marking a new era in space exploration. One thing is for certain, the next decade will be crucial for space exploration, and the race to Mars could forever change the course of human history. Whether for survival, exploration, or scientific discovery, Mars is the next great challenge for humankind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars and dream big.